Okay. Hi, Paul Sackis, Good News Broadcast, speaking to, well, this is a well-known guy, Columbus Short. And he wrote a book, the autobiography of Columbus Short by Columbus Short. Do you have a first name Harrison also, or did I read that wrong?
I played a character named Harrison on a television show, Scandal.
Were you born with the name Columbus Short?
Yes, I was. I'm a junior, actually.
You're a what? I'm sorry?
I'm a junior, actually.
Oh, is that right? Your dad was a Columbus?
Yep.
He didn't discover America, did he? That's a
No,
questionable situation.
no.
So you've been a very successful choreographer, writer, is the performer, film actor, TV, so on and so forth. And you're very open, and I want to thank you for that. Because it's good news when people are open to share their ups and downs in life.
Absolutely.
Learn through that if someone's willing to share that. So I think that's what a little bit of maybe why you wrote the book, to do that.
It was 100% why I wrote the book. Well, one, it was cathartic. It was a very therapeutic process for me. It was a very therapeutic process for me just because, I went through a lot, and I, there was misnomers in the media, and I never really said anything, and I felt like, I kind of was angry for some years about that. And I figured, what better way to tell my story and heal than to talk about it openly and honestly.
So where were you born? Where are you from?
I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, but I moved to California very young. So technically I'm a Cali boy, but I still claim Kansas City.
Kansas City, good place, nice place.
Yeah.
Good ribs.
Yeah.
Got Sprint over there. I spent some time there, and I spent some time in California. I managed Television City over there on Fairfax and Beverly when CBS owned it. So I was in the early 70s. So I like LA. You like LA? Are you in LA?
I am in LA. I was just in your city 2 days ago. I was in New York for a week last week.
Was that right? What brought you here?
I was doing I'm producing a movie that we were shooting some scenes in Queens.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I was out movie? What's that movie about?
That movie's called Plantation. It's about a African-American couple that buys the plantation that my character's father, our ancestors were once at.
So they came back to get it. Did they work the plantation in the early days? Was it that
They
kind
were
of story?
They were slaves at the plantation, and then now he bought it. They refurbishing it, but it's kind of a horror thriller. The house is alive with those old spirits. So it was pretty intense, pretty cool.
And so when's that supposed to come out? Where's it supposed to be when it comes out?
We think that's going to be Netflix, and hopefully the end of 2021.
All right. Well, you're a busy guy. So tell us about the book, and when did you start doing that? And it's just coming out now. Is that right?
It came out in September, but I wrote it about, it's going to be 2 years ago. It just took forever to kind of get out there. But I wrote it 2 years ago. And, I tell people it was like the adult man Columbus writing for the child. Everybody has their stories. Everybody has traumas, and, things that happen in their lives. And I think we carry those into adulthood. And sometimes, those problems, especially men and in Black community, things go unchecked. Like you could go through the most traumatic thing and you're just kind of taught to keep trucking. You never stop to address it, never stop to sit down and really process and heal from things. So you kind of get up until I'm 38 now, and then you look up and you're like, I have a lot of bags, emotional and interpersonal bags that that went unchecked for years. And I think wrote that book to encourage people to do the work on themselves. It's like anything else. With a car, you can drive only a certain amount of miles before you have to go get an oil change, or before you have to go get a tune-up. And we don't tune up ourselves. And it's the most important thing is our emotional, spiritual, mental well-being. And so that was kind of what spurred me to write it.
All right, I can relate big time. I'm at 71, and I'm doing another reevaluation. During this COVID period, I'm home a lot, and you know, it's and I hope for many are taking a moment to evaluate the important things in their life, where they've gone, where they potentially, once we get through all this, will go, and so on. Give us a couple examples, because I know you've had this wonderful life. Um, and give us some examples of some of the things that happened to you that you're so open to share, in the hope of others learning from you.
Um, it's just a lot of trauma. My mother, this is in the book, my mother actually killed my father a month before I was born. And so we kind of were forced to move to California from Kansas City. And so that, you're kind of born into a stressful situation unknowingly. And we moved around a lot. Mom was married a lot. Saw my mom in very, domestically violent relationships. Um, and then moving on into my preteen years, like I left high school early. I graduated from Orange County High School of the Arts, but I left early to go to move to New York to do Stomp on Broadway. And then it was me bumping into my own walls. Me making my own life mistakes, relationships that I shouldn't have been in. Leading all the way up to me being on the number one show at the time in the world, and in a completely toxic, dysfunctional marriage that just kind of imploded. And so all of those jobs, and I was self-medicating, using drugs, using alcohol, um, high functioning, with a high power job, high pressure job. I tell people it was like trying to drink water out of a fire hose every day, working on an ABC show. And I was not taking care of myself. And so all of those things kind of just led to the impending doom, or the spiral that followed. And so, you know, not realizing that I was an example, that I had people looking up to me, I was always avoiding that. Avoiding the responsibility of, they say much is given, much is required. So, you're like, yeah, I'm doing what I love to do. I don't want to be an example to anybody, but then you're not a leader. And that's I wasn't keen to that. I wasn't being responsible with my station in life. And I think I had to have the fall, so that I could learn, and that I could grow, that I could be a better father, a better husband. I'm remarried. I have two beautiful children, one wonderful, beautiful wife. And, life is just, people counted me out. I counted myself out for a while there. I almost wanted to just lay down and give up. And then I just said no. I was called to do something great. I've trained my whole life to do what I do, to make movies, to make television, to create art. And to not be able to do that was depressing. I went into a depression, and then I just started doing the work. Sat down with, started going to groups and sitting down with a therapist, and really getting down to the bottom of it. And I realized, cleaning out your closet we have all this stuff packed up in our closets, but cleaning them out allows and room for new, wonderful, amazing things to come into your life.
Do you remember some of the sparks, though, that made you realize where you were and that you wanted out of where you were at that time? Do you remember
I was
any?
tired. I was tired of me. I was tired of feeling. I was tired of. I wasn't myself, and I one day I was just like, I have to change the course immediately, or it's going to be too late. And with the support of people around me, i.e., my wife, um, and close family, friends, I started that journey one day at a time. And it was like, once I started working on myself, I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, I don't even recognize myself. Like, who am I? And what am I doing? And once I started taking those steps to work on myself, everything else started working itself out. Work on myself first, work on my family, my home, um, and being a good father, being a good husband. And then everything else kind of just started to flow in a wonderful, like, amazing way, better than I expected.
All right. Well, that's good news. We like good news. That's our show. It's all about good news. You know, personal or for the world about us, because as you become a better you in your own way of thinking, you make the world around you a better world, right? By
I'm
far.
finding that. I'm finding that to be true, more true every day.
Uh-huh. And so these thoughts that you're sharing so openly here, you share in the book?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There's some. The book is a wonderful. It's a wonderful journey, good, bad, and ugly. And it shows. What I wanted to show people is that we're in this culture of canceling people that are in a certain position um, based on a mistake. Um, Granted, some things are harder for the court of public opinion to forgive, but they don't always know. People don't know. So I wanted to show that we're fallible. Um, whether you see us on movie, TV, or here listening to our music or whatever, we're fallible human beings that are prone to make mistakes like everybody else, prone to have bad relationships, like just like everybody else, prone to addiction, just like everybody else. But it's not about what you go through; it's how you go through it, how you come out on the other side. And so that was the true overall message I hope was conveyed through it.
I love that because having been in this business for 40 plus years, somehow, but I got a master's degree to tell me about how actually people think that the actor on that stage really is that actor. And that
Right.
person and the words coming out of that mouth are really those persons. So when they come and see Columbus Short, they're looking at the scandal person, not even
Yeah.
Columbus Short. So
Right.
that's problematic, actually, as far as I'm concerned, with the way
Right.
that we're taught, the way we're educated. We don't study media. We don't know the
Right.
sets fall down, the makeup comes off. It's a different deal if you're in the business, right?
Absolutely, it very much is, and especially the role. My life was so reflecting on, I'm this fixer on this fixer to, political figures and major figures on the show that fixes their problems, make their problems big or small go away, and I couldn't make mine go away. Like I couldn't fix my own stuff. So it was kind of interesting, interesting dichotomy there.
There you go. Well, you're a smart man and a good guy, and that's going to be helpful for your children, your family, and all those around you. You're so young. You got a great career ahead of you. That's beautiful. I love it. And you're open to share it. Let me ask you
Yes,
one. I don't want to take much time. I know you're on a set, but you're an impressive dude. I'll tell you that.
thank you.
I'm lucky I asked for getting the chance to speak with you.
Thank
I never saw Scandal, though. I'll tell you that. But my good friend Carol, she was fanatical about the show. Something about the show drew her in, and she never missed an episode. What do you think that show had that was so powerful?
I think it was seeing the drama of of scandal. People people that are in these positions that go through tremendous, huge scandals, and the people fixing them, the problems that they have. It's like the therapist that's fixing all these people, but yet their home life is just a wreck. And people like seeing people that are what do you want to? What's the word? Like Breaking Bad. We loved Walter White, but he was doing bad things for the right reasons. And to see these people do, questionably morality, the line of their morality questioned every episode. But doing it for something seemingly good reason, I think was what kept people intrigued, and that we talked like 100 miles an hour.
And was there a family structure? I was a producer of a soap opera, Love of Life on CBS, and I worked on the soaps, and every day, and everybody said, well, what's the heart of a soap opera? And it was the family. It's those connections between others within that body that the next day you're going to learn maybe a little bit more of either their goodness or their tragedies of life. Was Scandal similar to that? It was a constant story that
Oh my gosh, yes.
followed people.
Yes, we were off screen a family. Everyone in that office, it was called Olivia Pope and Associates. So myself, Kerry Washington, Guillermo Diaz, Katie Lowe, Darby Stanchfield, we were family, and we were family on camera. And that bond of no matter what, we used to say the saying, over a cliff, we go together. And that bond, it was a beautiful bond. Again, I say on and off camera. One of the best experiences I've had in my career. Even though I was avoiding TV like the plague, I consider myself just a movie guy, but it was a blessing, you know. And I did a show called Studio 60 with Aaron Sorkin. So coming from Aaron's world into a Shonda world, who, you know, Shonda loves Aaron and one of her mentors. So it was, I got to work with some really great,
Yeah.
great showrunners, great writers.
Real professionals. These are
Yeah.
pros. These are the pros. Let me ask you one
Yeah.
last question. I'll let you get back here. We're involved with International Day of Peace, Peace Day. Actually, one of the first Peace Day concerts ever was in the Los Angeles Coliseum a zillion years ago in the 84s, because this is the United Nations declared day. And I ask a lot of people, what does peace mean to them? And we do Peace Day concerts and so on and so forth. So Columbus Short, I'd like to ask you personally, what does peace mean for you?
Ooh, that's the question of the year. And the year is almost done. Good job, Paul. Peace. Peace for me. First, for me, personally, is without anxiety, without stress, with contentment, perfect contentment, in your circumstance. That's peace. Peace to me, in the world, when we can all accept one another for once and for all. I think once we can do that, accept each other's humanity, no matter what color we are, whatever creed, nationality, religious background, sexuality, I think we can find some type of peace down here on this earth, and that's what it means to me.
Oh yeah, you're a good dude, man. Smart man, and a good sensitive man on the good things in life. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you, Paul.
Appreciate it.
Okay.